Greetings, my name is DCP, and today I will be doing a rebuttal video to Mr. EckhartsLadder on his subject of the Imperial Guard. In this video, Mr. Ladder has stated that the Imperial Guard is the worst of 4 other factions. While I do not know much about these other 4 factions, I wish to still defend the Imperial Guard as I believe that they are more organized than he gives them credit for. Before we talk about the Imperial Guard proper, I'd like to take a brief moment to talk about the Administratum. It is the organization which is in charge of administrating the Imperium as a whole. The Administratum is made up of literal armies upon armies of administrators and other personnel whose job it is to design, organize, and deploy the Imperial Guard and other military regiments across the galaxy. While the Administratum may be seen as slow or incompetent compared to other science fiction universes, the fact that the Administratum is able to deal with 1 million worlds, and often more than that, 1 million different forms of Low Gothic dialect, and still manage to organize and deploy forces is a feat within itself. You have to remember that the Administratum is dealing with not only a single war effort like many other fantasy universes, but the fact that it is dealing with galactic threats. One must always remember that unlike many other science fiction universes, the Administratum of the Imperium is dealing with not only 1, but sometimes up to 100 different conflicts at any given time, all which must be organized, catalogued, and deployed troops to. This in itself is an achievement, as when you consider the constant threats the Imperium faces, the fact that the Imperium has not fallen is the great show of example of how the Administratum was working and how well it is keeping the Imperium intact. You cannot just say that the Administratum is stupid or slow because it deploys troops occasionally wrong. The fact that these are normally the exception and not the rule shows this. With this short thought out of the way, I'd now like to move on to the main point of this video. Mr. Ladder has said that the Imperial Guard has no standardization amongst its military. I wish to prove this false. For this, I will not be using any of the recognizable factions within the Imperial Guard, such as Cadia, Mordia, or even Catachan, and I would stick to a standardized Imperial regiment that would normally be taken from any recruiting world. At the forefront of this army will of course be the General. He will be in charge of overseeing the major parts of the military campaign and the regimental officers. Each regimental officer will be put in charge between 3 to 5 companies of troops, 1 division of officio prefectus, 1 military auxilia, 1 group of sanctioned psychers, and 1 ministorum selectum. Within each company will be a company commander and a company command staff. They will preside over between 3 and 5 military platoons. Each platoon then in turn is led by a platoon commander and a platoon command squad. In this said platoon you will now see how the Imperial Guard is standardized. Each platoon consists of 5 infantry squads, each consisting of 9 standardized line infantrymen and 1 sergeant, 5 heavy weapon teams, each consisting of 3 2-man heavy weapon teams, each equipped with a heavy weapon designed for the conflict in mind, 3 special weapon teams consisting of 6-man groups, 3 standard line infantry and 3 special weapons designed for whatever the combat scenario requires, and a single squad of between 20 and 40 standardized conscripts, which will be deployed however the commanding officers see fit. And finally, a number of Chimera transports for the platoon staff to use as they see fit. While to the common outsider the Imperial Guard looks nothing more than a group of soldiers charging headlong into an unbeatable foe, the Imperial Guard's organization, thanks to this standards template, is able to allow them to focus and organize on a much better level than many people would give them credit for. Infantrymen are able to relay information back to the platoon staff, who then, using the information they've gathered from other members of the platoon, are able to relay it back to the company staff, who thanks to their ability to contact the other 4 platoons, are able to relay this information to the regimental staff. From there the regimental staff can organize, and if that is unavailable, they can send it higher up the chain to the general, who is able to deal with the problem with the other regiments that will be on the field. This of course is just a standardized news for the infantry. Steel and armor divisions are another thing entirely. Most divisions are built up of the same standard template, except it is changed around. A company command tank and company chimera are used as the command staff, and there is between 1 and 3 tank companies, escorted behind by a super heavy tank, and a recon and anti-aircraft squadron. These are both used as forces for the front line and backline defenses. Unlike infantry companies, however, tank companies are standardized differently. Each one consists of only 10 tanks, 1 tank acting as the company commander for the steel group, and there are 3 groups of 3 tanks, each broken up into squadrons. This in itself, however, is not always the case, as while this is the standard template, it is not always the same for every squad. 1 tank squad may consist completely of hellhounds, while another may consist of Leman Russes. This also goes for the anti-aircraft divisions, as while this may normally be a standardized group of simple basilisks, it can occasionally be replaced by standardized ground infantry, such as quad turbo lasers or other forms of anti-aircraft defenses. which may not always be mobile at the time. Finally, I'd like to talk about the standardization of the average Imperial infantryman. This can be seen as how they are equipped to be the same as every other unit in the Imperial Guard. Each Guardsman is given one las gun, one flak armor and helmet, one mess kit, entrenching tool, first aid kit, and copy of the Imperial infantryman's uplifting primer. Additionally, they may be given a bayonet if they are expected to perform trench warfare and perform a trenching charge. It is here I will end this video. While it may not be as long as other subjects on the Imperial Guard, or talk about many of the other areas such as the elite forces and Tempestus Scions, I believe this gives a basic understanding of what the Imperial Guard is and how it operates, and why Mr. EckhartsLadder is wrong on this particular subject. Thank you for watching, and the Emperor protects.